Hey everyone, it's me, Rachel Bennington, Premier Executive with Jamberry, and today I want to talk to you about managing your time and one of the best tools that has helped me so much in this direct sales business and organizing my time. Okay, it's called Productive Priorities, and I use basically a lot of the material that Sherry McAllister teaches from Average to Excellence. She is a guru in the direct sales business, but I put my own little spin on it. Like many of you guys do, so that it fits my business. So for Jamberry, one thing that is hugely important is customer follow-up. And I know with a lot of other companies it is too. And so I want to show you exactly how I put these productive priorities into practice. So first of all, let's talk about what they are. The productive priorities that you should be scheduling into your calendar if you run a direct sales business are 6 different things, especially if you are a GM consultant. First thing is bookings. This is a party planning business based on parties. Bookings has got to be your number one priority that you add into your calendar every week. You have to spend time on working to find leads and places that you can find leads, vendor events, all of that. You've got to schedule in time to actually pursue those leads and pursue bookings and all of that. Second thing would be for hostess coaching. So you've got the bookings, you've entered them into your computer, and now you're going to coach those hostesses. The third thing is going to be actually holding those parties. So you're already booked the party, you've hostess coached, and third thing is holding parties. Fourth thing is customer follow-up. So you've booked the party, you've hostess coached, it was an awesome party when you held it, and now you're going to follow up with those customers. And the last thing is, fifth thing is recruiting. Not the last thing, it probably is one of the most important things that you keep in mind throughout all of the things that you do, but recruiting is definitely something that you spend time on. And the sixth thing that I always have in there too is for coaching your team, because we know that studies show if you can add somebody to your team within the first 30 days that you join a direct sales company, you are more likely to have success in that company and to stay with it long term. So those are the 6 productive priorities. So let's talk about these 6 things and what your time looks like when you do schedule those. So bookings, like we talked about a little bit, vendor events, bookings, I use this time to reach out by text message, by phone. Phone is probably the best, but in today's age, text message, Facebook message, any of those things work. And I make sure that I try not to use the word party. So I'll say, let's get your girlfriends together. You look like you need a night off or a break. Let's get your girlfriends together. I'm gonna come over and let's do manicures. It'll be a low-key night where we're gonna enjoy good conversation, a glass of wine, and have just a low-key fun night. And so that puts the person at ease. So your verbiage is important in what you say to get those bookings, and you can work with your manager on that as well. Okay, hostess coaching. Everybody has a different approach to hostess coaching. I think the more you can keep in touch with your hostess and get them excited about it, obviously the better party you're gonna have. And so that means for me, sending them an invitation, maybe that I've made myself. I love, love, love the app called Red Stamp. Red Stamp. It's free. You can download it to any smartphone, and you can make these adorable little invites that she can text out to all of her friends. And it's just something different. You always want to look for ways that you can just create your own little personality, your own little spin on things. And Red Stamp is something I use to give hostesses a way to invite their friends, and then they send it out again to remind them. Even if it's an online party, you can invite your friends through text message to remind them about the online party. The third thing we talked about was what? Holding the parties. So this is probably the bulk of your time, and it depends on how many parties you want to hold. I typically like to hold 2 to 3 a week, and so I'm looking at about 6 to 10 hours a week on just holding parties. But you know what? This is your moneymaker. This is the time you're actually making your sales. So totally worth the investment of however many parties you want to do a week. And I think that's pretty self-explanatory. You can do online parties, you can do vendor events, you can do in-home parties, you can do multiple parties where you get multiple different direct sales companies together and host a little, spa night or party night that way. So many different avenues, especially now with Facebook Live. You can have Zoom parties, you can have, I've seen people do YouTube type parties, so many options out there. Okay, so next is, what else do we talk about? Let me get my list together. All right, next is recruiting. Okay, recruiting you definitely got to keep at the forefront the whole time, but I schedule an active time for recruiting. So what does that look like? I'm looking through my pictures on Facebook. I'm looking through my friends' pictures. I'm trying to look for people that I think, oh yeah, they'd be really good at this business. Or hey, that customer loves my product. I haven't reached out with them and shared the business opportunity. I know this can be an intimidating part, but let me tell you, direct sales is growing like wildfire. And if you don't reach out to those people, somebody else is going to. And that happened to me. I had a dear friend join with someone else because I didn't have the nerve to reach out and say, you would be amazing at this. And so she joined with somebody else. And so you don't want that to happen to you. You want to get out there, share your experience with as many people as possible. You don't want to be pushy, but you just want to share with what's going on in your business and what a blessing it is and the income you've made. Share that excitement. It is contagious. People are going to want to join you. So that is active recruiting time. You can reach out through Facebook and say, hey, I really think that you would be good at this. Can I share a little bit more? Or would you like to talk to my upline? You can say, hey, we've got a sneak peek event going on. Can I add you to it? I'd love for you to know a little bit more about this. And you mentioned the other day that you wanted to make some extra money. This is really a time for you to listen to other people and see where Jamberry or your business opportunity can fit into their schedule. All right, so the next thing up is customer follow-up. Oh my goodness, customer follow-up is so huge. In a business like Jamberry, you want to know that they put the actual product on, they had a good application experience, that it lasted long, and that they're happy with their gorgeous designs. Oh my gosh, I fall in love with this product every time I put a fresh manicure on. And that's what, if you can catch that customer right when they put on their first set and they're so excited, you are going to capitalize on a customer for life because you reached out to them, they're excited, you're going to share that experience with them and tell them how much you appreciate them purchasing from you. Typically, I do a 24-hour follow-up from the time that they order, telling them thank you. I do a 2-week follow-up because they would have had their product by then and you want to make sure that they've applied it and had a good experience. A 2-month follow-up because our product, if they purchase a buy 3, get 1 free, then usually they will have gone through their product by then and they're ready to replenish. And then I put them in my rotation to continue to follow up with them every couple months. I have another video on my YouTube channel you are welcome to check out. It's called the 222 follow-up system, and that might be helpful to you as well. Okay, last thing is team time. I love team time. Oh my gosh, my team is gold to me. I just absolutely love them. And so scheduling time, making sure that I'm doing my posts on my team pages and that I'm making sure that I'm preparing trainings. I'm doing my coaching calls, which are hugely important. If you don't do coaching calls, watch my coaching call video because it'll teach you how to coach, who to coach, and what to say. And coaching is so huge. And then also recognition. Recognize as much as you can for anything and everything for your team because that will keep them loyal to you. It'll keep them excited about their business and they will get to feel the appreciation that you have for them being on your team. All right, so what does calendar blocking look like? You've got these 6 productive priorities. What does it look like to take them and put them into your calendar? Let me show you. This is my June calendar so far. The first thing I like to do is to mark my Jamberry training time. So these little purple ones are times that I have big trainings for my team or that I have any kind of leader training, anything related to my company's training, I'm going to highlight those so that I don't miss those. My green are my paydays. That's my money, money, money. I usually like to just do every Friday's a payday and the 10th of the month is our bonus day. And so Fridays are always highlighted in green. A lot of people I know take green and they put it around their parties. My parties change. I have people schedule and reschedule and move it. So I always just circle it in pencil. But I always, before the month starts, takes my yellow highlighter and go around the days that I want to book parties. That way I know what's full and what's available when I am calling during those booking times. So that's really important. Okay, so then after I've got my calendar set and I've sat with my husband and we talk about what things are important for the kids that month, then I start planning my weeks, okay? So I just started planning my next week and I want to show you. What I do at the beginning of the month always, or the beginning of the week, I'm sorry, is to write over here in the notes section the 6 productive priorities. This way, in my crazy mom brain, I don't forget these things. So I've got right over here booking, hostess coaching, holding parties, recruiting, customer service, and team time. I try to assign my goal number of hours that I'm going to stick with these. I use my cheap little kitchen timer to dial up the time so that I make sure during that hour that I'm working on bookings. I have 2 hours scheduled for bookings, and oh, look at that. I've got it scheduled for Monday the 6th from 9 to 11. I'm going to set my kitchen timer for an hour, and I'm going to really try and stay focused to only on bookings. I'm not going to get on my team page. I'm not going to check the status of, all my friends. I'm going to work on bookings during that time. So that's a little trick that might help you stick to it. So you'll notice that as I'm scheduling these times in, I use this section of my planner for my morning. This is for the mid-afternoon, and this is for my evening. Even though it doesn't look like that on the Jamberry planners, that's just how I organize it. And so I even go so far as from 8 to 9 o'clock, that's what time is my team time, and I schedule that. That was priority 6 over here. Okay, I'm gonna make sure I took off 1 hour here, over here, so I know that I've got that scheduled in. You'll also notice these 6 productive priorities usually adds up to for me at about 15 hours. At my level in Jamberry, I am not far from the top, and I have a huge team of 2,500 people. And so I try to front load these priorities towards the beginning of the week. This is Monday, Tuesday, and I've got Wednesday where I start to do that too. And I want to make sure that these priorities are front loaded. And that way, if I have extra time to work, then it can be spent on some of the other things that pop up during the week. But these things are scheduled in because they are such a priority, and we need to make sure that we don't miss those. So here we go. These are my party nights. Those are in green. I make sure I got a little highlighter there, my trainings that I have going on that I don't want to miss. And that about wraps up how I schedule in these 6 productive priorities. All right, I hope you found this informational. If you need anything, you can reach out to me on Facebook, Rachel West Bennington. I'm also on Twitter and Instagram, and then follow me on YouTube at Jam Sessions with Rachel, and I'm happy to help anytime. So I hope you guys are managing your time because, as you know, most people do not plan to fail, they just fail to plan. So let's go and tackle this business and have tons of success. Thanks, ladies.